Welcome back everybody. So today I have something different for you because I am very excited to show you my Jinx deck profile that I managed to get top 4 at the Summoner Skirmish yesterday. If you come from Yu-Gi-Oh! Which I guess are a lot of my viewers, so this Summoner Skirmish you can compare it like to a OTS Championship, which is a little bit bigger local event with a few exclusive prizes, and by getting into top 8 I managed to get a extra promo card of Blitzcrank, and the first place got a playmat of Blitzcrank this time. So in top 4 I lost to Kai'Sa, sadly, but I'm very happy for my opponent because he did manage to win the whole event. It was a very long event. We started at 6 PM and then we played 5 rounds of Swiss, and then we even got and played top 8. So then at like 2 or 3 AM in the morning, when I lost in top 4 and I got to leave, I was also a little bit relieved. So yeah, let's just get into the deck. If you play Riftbound, I'm sure you know it, but just to go over it, you have the Jinx Legend, which just says at the start of the beginning phase, draw 1 if you have one of your cards in your hand, which basically means your game plan is to empty your hand as quick as possible, and then you start drawing 2 cards for turn and cycling through your deck and continue emptying your hand and spamming the board and drawing even more cards until you hit your finishers. Also it has the red domain, which is assigned with aggro and just scoring very quickly with smaller units that have smaller energy costs and maybe a bit more power cost. And you also have the purple domain, which is just all about chaos, like its name says, and this is just to disrupt the opponent and give yourself some more tempo. And then as the chosen champion I have the Jinx Red, which is just the better one of the two. This is just extremely overstated. It has only a power cost of 3 and 4 might for it. On play you have to discard 2 cards, which isn't even that bad in this deck. And then on top it has also Accelerate, so that you can spend 1 more energy and 1 more power to play it ready. And then if you attack, it has Assault 2, so it's basically a 3 or 4 cost unit with 6 might. And even though you do empty your hand, if you manage to keep the Jinx in the champion zone, you have always access to it, and this can just be a very strong play to swing the game state around. Then for the main deck, let's start with the units. In red we have triple Chemtech Enforcer, also with the Assault, and if you play it you have to discard a card, so you can also use it to empty your hand and trigger some abilities. Then you have the double Poro. This is just a very strong 2-drop, and especially against decks like Kai'Sa, if they have to use their spells to target this card, they also have to recycle one of their runes. Then as a big finisher comes the Vi. Maybe I will cut this down to 2 in the future because we don't want to see it that early, and with all the draw power in the deck, most of the time you will see it even if you play only 2 of it, but I do play 1 card in the deck that even makes it very strong in the mid game. Then we have the triple Traveling Merchant, the MVP. This is just the best unit you can play on your first turn. This will trigger your discards and draws you more cards. It essentially fixes your hand, and with all the purple spells you can move it around a few times in one turn even, and keep it safe so you can get even more advantage. Also, if you manage to empty your hand and then move it to a location, you just draw one card. So this is very strong to have if you want to keep your card advantage even with a lower card size in hand. Then I did play 2 Teemo. This is for the hidden ability. You can spend a power to hide this at a battlefield, which essentially lets you empty your hand by one card without paying any runes for it, because sometimes when you have two drops for turn 2, you don't get to a small enough hand size to start drawing the cards. And also I do think Teemo is very strong into Kai'Sa, because you can hide it, and when they use a spell to deal with a unit at a battlefield, you can just flip the Teemo and essentially have a 4-might unit for this turn, and maybe you get to hold the battlefield or your opponent has to commit even more cards. Then the triple Flame Tromper. This is one of the cards you want to discard, because you can pay 1 power to play it from the trash. And then the triple Noxus Hopeful. This is just a standard card in the red domain. With the Legion ability, you can just play a 4-might unit for 2 energy with it, which is just insanely strong. Then for the spells, I did play triple Cleave. I do have 2 Gust. Triple Fight or Flight. This is the other card you can hide. So a lot of times the opponent did expect that I had a Fight or Flight hidden at a battlefield and then it was a Teemo. Later in the game they maybe expected a Teemo and then it was a Fight or Flight, so to mess with their heads was really beneficial for me. Then 2 Ride the Wind. This is the card that makes Vi a 2-card combo to score 2 points, because when you play Vi, you can buff her up to maybe 10, 15 or 20 might, then use Ride the Wind, move her to a battlefield, ready her, then she takes over the battlefield with all her might, and then because she's ready, she can just gank over to the other battlefield and do the same. And so as soon as you hit the 6 points, these 2 cards are a very big threat for the opponent. Then for the gear, I decided to play triple Scrap Heap. This does contradict a little bit because this does draw you a card when you discard it, but I think it is a very good card because there are many cards that you don't want to discard, and so you have to try and keep some cards in hand that you actually can throw away and then get advantage with them. So with the Scrap Heaps and the Flame Tromper, this one, you have essentially 6 cards in hand that if you discard them you get advantage through playing them or drawing, and even without a discard you can just play it into your base and still draw a card. Then the one card that does make this deck not budget anymore is the triple Seal of Rage. I believe that this card is mandatory for Jinx because this just saves you so much power costs that you have to spend, and also this just synergizes so well with all the hidden cards like Fight or Flight and the Teemo. This is also the reason why I decided to play Teemo, because there are not that many cards in red that need to recycle a rune, outside of the Flame Tromper and the Vi, and maybe some spells in the side deck, or the Jinx herself. But by having these hidden cards I can just use the seal to pay for the power cost, hide them, and I have 1 card less in my hand without having to spend any extra resources. Also, if you have multiple of these in your hand, you can just play the first, use the first, play the second, and so you have -2 cards in hand to start cycling your deck. So I really like the Seal of Rage as an addition. And then as a third gear that I did play was one Sundisk, and this card is just crazy. The reason is because you do want to score in doubles, and this is one fundamental principle that I really try to hold up when playing. And by scoring both battlefields each turn gives you just the line of going 2 points, 4 points, 6 and then 8. And what I really like to do is to play any 2-card unit on my first turn, and then on my second turn I can either play a second 2-cost or even the Noxus Hopeful together with the Sundisk, because I do have 4 runes at this point normally, so I play the Sundisk for 2, and then because I played a card I can use its Legion ability and play either for the 2 other runes, the Traveling Merchant being ready, or the Hopeful, or the Poro, or anything for 2 power. And then I can move into the first battlefield with the first unit and into the second battlefield with the other unit, and then I did immediately score both, and in every subsequent turn I can just use the Sundisk to ready one unit when I play it, which is also insane in the mid game in combination with the Vi, because you can just play the Vi ready, booster up to, let's say, 8 might or 10, which in the mid game should get over almost anything, and then score a point. And this is something that I really like to do, because this preserves your Jinx in the champion zone. This card in the mid game is very strong, because like I said, it is very overstated for its cost, and with 6 might you can deal a lot of damage and deal with a lot of units, but I always want to try and keep it in the chosen champion zone, because this is just an additional card in hand, and so I really enjoyed the Sundisk. And this is it for the spells that I played. I have 3 more here. These are a stack deck. This is essentially a pot card from Yu-Gi-Oh! So you just spend 1 energy, look at 3 cards, and add 1 of them to your hand, so you can just try to find any resources that you need. I didn't play them yesterday because they just arrived in the mail today. So what I played instead was a 3rd Ride the Wind, a 3rd Gust, and this was a 3rd Teemo, but I decided now to cut them for the stack deck and put them, for now at least, into the sideboard. And so this is now the main deck. What is still missing is the Darius. I did all of them, but they didn't show up in time, and I plan to play 2 of the Darius just as another way to have a unit that you can play from your hand and it being immediately ready by playing a second card. And I want to cut the 3rd Vi and the 3rd Cleave for it. They are good units, but I think every other card is way more aggressive or even defensive. Then the runes. I did play 9 red and 3 purple because it is way more heavy on the red side, and you need to open at least 1 red unit in your opening 2 to have your best opening place. If you open with double chaos, there are some cards that you can just not play, but you still need the chaos runes for the Ride the Wind, so I think 3 is fine when it comes to the point that you are in the mid game or even in the late game and you need to play the Ride the Wind as a finisher. You should have at least one of these purple runes ready. And then last but not least, let's make some space for the battlefields. So the battlefield for the first game I always put in the Zone Warrens. This is just the best battlefield for Jinx because this lets you trigger your discard even if you don't draw any cards that do it with effects. You can just discard by conquering here, and this also lets you cycle even faster through your deck and fix your hand. Then for the going first game I have the Arena's Greatest. This is just that you have 1 point going, and then when you start playing with the first turn, you play a 2-cost and score 1 battlefield. You are at the 2-point mark, so you can go from there like the 2, 4, 6, 8 points, and you don't have to play any shenanigans. So most of the time, because of the Arena's Greatest, I also did side out the Sun Disc for going first, because I do have the aggression, except against Kai'Sa, because this is just a way to have your units safe in your hand and then take over the battlefield without having them to be open on your base. And then the third battlefield, the reverse row, is just to protect your units, your smaller units. If your opponent plays any bigger ones into them, you can just save them. Also with the merchant, if you play it into this and the opponent attacks, you can move it back and then it triggers again. So also the reverse row, a very great battlefield for Jinx. So I did play against a few Kai'Sas, and I spotted one problem with this game plan. If I go Zone Warrens in the first game, most of the time I did win this game, and then for going second I did play reverse row, and there the Kai'Sa most of the time did play the battlefield that lets you ready 2 runes if you conquer it. And then in the game when I go first, I do have the Arena's Greatest, and then the opponent playing Kai'Sa uses their own reverse row, which essentially means that in 2 of 3 games one of the battlefields is the reverse row, and this just helps Kai'Sa to protect their units, and especially to protect the Kai'Sa and Darius, which I had a big problem dealing with. So I think only against Kai'Sa I will try and switch it up to go Arena's Greatest for the first game. So this way basically I say, okay, it's a 50-50, if I win the die roll I have the advantage and maybe win the game. If I lose the die roll, then the opponent has the advantage. But then when going first, I will play the reverse row, and the Kai'Sa being going second much likely will also play the reverse row, so we have both battlefields here. And this is, like I said, very good for the Kai'Sa as the opponent, but I do have the tempo advantage by going first, and so I will try to win at least this game by just committing everything as fast as possible. And then if it goes to game number 3, the Kai'Sa will play the battlefield with the readying 2 runes, and I can play my Zone Warrens as my strongest battlefield, and this is a tactic that I will try to use against the Kai'Sa matchups, and I think that this can work out better than the standard plan. Then the side deck, I almost forgot to show you this. It is 3 Hextech Ray. This is mainly against the holding strategies like Master Yi or Ari, because you have a problem when attacking into them because of their shield abilities and their legend abilities, so I do want to deal with them preemptively and deal the 3 damage to their Poro or even to the Ari or what they might have. Then I did play double Fading Memories. This is against the Aurora matchups, but when playing against Aurora I didn't even need this. I had so much advantage, and by the time that they were ready to set up their board, I already had at least 4 points, which meant I just needed 2 more turns to double score, and this was just maybe unnecessary, but I still like the option to have it. And then, like I said, now in the side deck is the third gust, the second Ride the Wind, and the Party Poro. Stay tuned for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Advanced Edison format, and now also for Riftbound. If you like the video, please make sure to like it, and if you want to, you can support me by subscribing to the channel. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy, and bye bye.